Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Choosing Beggars. Story 1. Looking for handouts but I don't do handouts. Story 2. Homeless teenager begged for food and was picky. This happened a few years ago, and I sometimes think of it when I visit this sub, so I thought I'd share. So I was walking past this fast food place in my neighborhood when a homeless teenager asked me to buy him food. I told him to pick something from the menu, and I'd buy it. Well, he then told me that he wanted this specific pastry that was sold in a specific bakery. He named them. I asked him where this bakery was, and he pointed in a direction that was opposite of where I was headed. He told me we'd need to catch the bus and ride it for 2 stops. It's very close by, he said. He spent some time persuading me to go with him to the bakery, but I wasn't giving in. Finally I told him, "Look, I can't go anywhere with you. I can buy you something from this place. If you don't want anything from here, then I can't help you." This fast food place had a barbecue, so you could order burgers or other grilled meat in a bun. It also offered crepes, both sweet and savory, sandwiches, and some slow-cooking dishes like goulash. But he wanted that particular pastry and nothing else. He just stood there pouting. I finally said, "Okay then, goodbye." And I was on my way. I knew who this kid was, I knew he was in a dire living situation, and I had wanted to help. I couldn't believe the exchange we just had. Story 3. Free isn't good enough update. Story 4. Chair is free, can you also deliver it too? I found this sub and it just reminded me of the audacity of buyers I experienced when trying to get rid of my old things in a more sustainable way. I remembered this due to the simple audacity of the request. Also, the person lived 1 hour away from me and I made it clear it was collection only. Story 5. Marketplace is the worst. Wants me to deliver a shirt and give it to her for free. Story 6. Take rocks we dumped on city-owned land, $50. This is the kind of thing you pay people to do. Story 7. Loan me $X000 for rent and an engagement ring for my GF. So a friend I've known for decades is not great with his finances. He calls late one night and leaves a VM, saying, "Hey, I really hate to ask you this but I need a loan for XYZ amount." I listen to the VM the following morning, call him back, and ask what's the loan for. He replies, "I need to pay my rent and buy an engagement ring for my super long distance girlfriend." Now there are a few serious scenarios where I would make the loan, but in this case I chose right. I said, "No, I cannot loan you money for rent for a house you cannot afford. And I don't even think you and your GF will last considering you cheat on her all the time. So no." Ends up the GF pays his rent. He breaks up with her the next day. She calls me repeatedly for emotional support. He and I have not spoken since. He was furious at me for not issuing him a loser loan. 20+ years of friendship gone. It's a shame. Story 8. A little beggar story. A few years ago, I sold my DSLR camera and man agreed to buy it, so we met in a parking lot to complete the sale. He looked it over and said he didn't want it because it took an SD card and they don't make an SD cards anymore. We were taken by surprise at that, but we hadn't used the camera in a while, so we figured maybe he was right. On our way home, I looked at sites like Amazon and Best Buy. They had loads of SD cards available for sale. We shrugged it off and left it back up for sale, hoping for another bite. This same man contacts my husband via text a few days later and sends him some link to purchase some $20 SD card adapter that he wanted us to buy to prove to him that the adapter works with our camera, and then he'd consider buying it. My husband politely declined and sent him some links to show him where he could buy SD cards that slide right into the camera with no adapter. He bought the camera, but he was such an odd duck. Story 9. That's tough OPUAW1Z. Story 10. Someone on Nextdoor begging for a car for free. This woman can get a check from her insurance company for her wrecked car, yet she thought to use her situation to guilt people into getting her a car for free. Hopefully no one took up on her begging. Story 11. Gave ex-coworker a free knitted hat, didn't like the color. My sister-in-law's mom is always knitting hats and gloves for winter. Sil's mom, has drawers full of them around her house and is always eager to give them away to anyone who'd like some for free. She just does it for fun and to stay busy while watching TV. Anyways, I was wearing one of the knitted beanies at work last winter when a coworker asked where I got it from. I told her where from and how whenever I visited my Sil's mom's house she always told us to go about searching for any hats and gloves since she was always making them. She asked me if I had any more because she thought it looked great and I said yes, since I had 4 more, 2 hats and 2 hat/glove sets, at home that I had never worn. Next day I bring them all so she could pick one. She looked in the bag, ruffled them about, made a face and then asked if I had any more. I responded that I didn't and she then asked me if I was going to visit my Sil's mom's house soon cause she wanted a different color combination for a Christmas party she was attending and wanted to match the beanie to her outfit. She was going to take a picture of her outfit, send it to me so that I could rummage through the drawers and find a few that I thought would match great. I told her I wasn't a beanie hat courier service and gave the hats to other co-workers who had asked about them while the whole conversation was taking place. She didn't talk to me after that and I left the job in the spring. Story 12. Best guitarist in the city. Back in 2021, this guitarist quit the band we were in because another band couldn't do a show he was organizing. There were quite a few vaccination requirements implemented afterwards as autumn set in. Our drummer was suffering from kidney disease and couldn't work so we booked a fundraiser for him. Guitar player found out about the show and wanted to play, but vaccine requirements. He threatened the venue because of that and we decided to never play with him again. This year he's wanting to play again, but seems to think threatening people will get them to want to be in a band with him lol. Shitty country is a reference to me performing country music lol. Story 13. Anyone want to send their kids to this guy? 35 a day, what a bargain. James wants an 14-year-old to come chip away his mortar for 35 a day. Any takers? Story 14. Choosy Beggar a photo series. Story 15. CBS in front of nice restaurant. There is a traditional Chinese restaurant in my town that, while it isn't fancy or anything, is somewhat expensive because the food is all very traditional, high quality, and large portions. The restaurant is located in the Midtown area where there are lots of homeless people, and there are always 1 or 2 that hang out in the doorway of the Chinese place and ask people for money or to buy them food. I always decline when I am asked because the restaurant is expensive. I have to work it into my own budget and can't go there super often because of it. I have often thought that if I ever saw homeless people like that outside of McD's or Taco Bell or Subway, I'd be happy to buy them a value meal, but I'm not buying them $30 worth of dim sum at a place I can't even always afford to go to myself. Well, a few days ago I was there, and there was a homeless guy out front bothering customers as usual. I avoided him and got in line to order, and some of the customers ahead of me complained to the girl working the register about the man outside, so she sent one of the cooks out to talk to him. This is how the conversation went. Cook, hey man, I'm sorry but you have to move along. CB, don't you have any food you can give me? Cook, we can give you some white rice and a bottle of water, but you do have to move along after that. CB, scowls never mind. No one ever wants to help us out. Cook, if you are hungry, we will give you some rice and water. CB, slowly turning to walk away now nobody wants to help us. Customer at the end of the line, there are 4 fast food places across the street. Maybe if you loiter in their parking lots you'll have better luck. CB, fuck all of you finally leaves. TF is wrong with people. Story 16. Meal train for soon-to-be new mama. I DM'd a casual acquaintance asking if she had a meal train where people can sign up to drop off meals to her home after the baby is born. She said they had chosen to sign up for a meal delivery service instead. A few weeks later she posts saying she has a meal train set up. It is all meals from restaurants with detailed directions on what to order from each place and even included modifications to a few orders. Another slightly closer acquaintance posted asking for Grubhub/DoorDash gift cards as her meal train. I'd be happy to bake/cook, but it's kind of crazy to me these ladies are asking for people to spend $40-$60 meal for them and hubby. Story 17. Free cans. I drink a lot of seltzer in cans. I also know that a lot of people collect cans for a little extra money. I'm too lazy for that, but I don't mind helping someone get that money. Honestly, it makes me feel good to know that I helped someone have a better day. So I stomp the cans and put them in grocery store bags. Then I put them in a kitchen-sized bag on the porch. When it's full, I write, "Free cans" on the bag and put it on the corner. It's usually gone within 15 to 20 minutes. On Sunday, I put the bag out and not long after, a guy rang my doorbell. Next time you put out cans, take them out of those grocery bags before you put them out. They're a pain to deal with. I told him that he wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. That even if I have to sit on my porch and wait for someone to pick up those cans, I will make sure that someone isn't him. I meant it too. I'm petty enough to sit out there. How are you going to complain about what is essentially free money? EDA, I checked, they accept cans by weight here, PA, USA. Story 18. Offered 2 spots for pickup not good enough. Story 19. A choosing beggars called an artist a choosing beggar for asking up-front payment. The original poster posted this chat log on this subreddit and then immediately deleted it after people called them out that they are the choosing beggar. Glad I am able to save it before it got deleted. From the guilt trip, it's pretty clear that OP tried to get an artwork for free and then gets upset because the artist asked for upfront payment. Story 20. I'm looking for someone to rent my basement apartment but don't be home too much. I was looking for a studio apartment in the area and found one that was a basement apartment essentially. But when I spoke with the owner, I mentioned that I work from home half of the week and work in office the rest of the week. This made them ask, how often do you think you'll be home? They said they were looking for people that were like nurses, drivers, etc. People who just needed a place to sleep at night. Not people who will always be home. Obviously, I disconnected the call. I can't believe there are actually people out there paying $1,000 plus a month for a studio and the landlord is implying they don't want them home all the time. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.